0. If you can tell the difference, good on you. It's cold all the way around. You got single digits below 0 out the door this morning. We first alert you to those yesterday that's what the wind was going to bring, and the air temperature now at 10. We've held there for the last couple hours, but there are some single digits back here to the west. So it is a cold morning, coldest we've had in quite a while. Overall, the coldest so far this season has been 9 degrees, so we're right there. That was earlier in December, and now we're there this morning, and this could very well be the coldest air we have until we get to the new year. It looks very mild after this, so hang on. We'll get through this here, but the last day of school for the kids heading out the door in several school districts for the short day. You want to bundle up. You got single-digit wind chills either below or above 0 all morning long. By the afternoon, those get into the double digits, but not very far, and it's mostly because the wind backs off. It's not because we warm all that much. So wind gusts up near 25 miles per hour this morning. The air has a bite to it all day, but at least a little less wind by the afternoon, which is good news. Any storm system is off towards the east. We don't have any real travel impacts immediately today. The snow rolled through Fargo, Minneapolis yesterday. Now some snow in Chicago, Detroit. Check flights in that direction if you got to go east today. That's where that system could be having some impact. So let's go through the first alert forecast and take you through what today is looking like. Right around 10 degrees at 8 o'clock. We march through 9 and eventually up towards the lunch hour. It does look like things will warm up, but slowly today. We get the most sunlight here during the morning hours. Then by the afternoon, what happens is, hopefully my graphics didn't lock up here. There you go. By noon, we're right around 20 degrees.
They're clouds, just cold, Rusty.
Yeah, everything's cold and moving slow. Into the afternoon, what we'll see is the clouds try to thicken up, and by 5 o'clock, we're in that 24 to 25 degree range, but with limited sunshine. Boy, is it going to be cold pretty much all day today. The warmest part of the day is right when the clouds move in. Then later on tonight by 7 o'clock, we're down in the low 20s. Overnight tonight by 9 and eventually 10, we fall off and stay pretty close to 20 most of the night until early tomorrow morning, where a little bit of clearing may allow the number to dip just a little bit more, but not as bad as it is for this morning. So you can see 17 to start, up to about 34 or so into the afternoon, but not all that bad here, considering that's about average for this time of year. We've been really spoiled. We haven't even been below 0 yet with our air temperatures so far, and I don't think we'll get there until sometime next year.
I know people wanted a white Christmas, of course. It's always really pretty,
yeah,
some people. But, you know, we're not really going to be seeing anything like that, especially the days leading up and the days afterwards either.
Yeah, it's very mild. Once we get past today, everything is above average. A lot of 40s to show you here in the 10-day forecast. So 34 Saturday, 46 on Sunday. You wanted that festive white Christmas. Yeah, this isn't your year. We're going to be 42 on Christmas Eve, and no signs of any precipitation. So if you got a road trip, that's great news. You want to wash the car, get that clean, and then hit the road. You got no problems there keeping that clean. There are rain chances after Christmas. We'll watch these right now. Over the last couple of days, these have stayed rain. We've stayed warm enough in the afternoon, and everything's stayed above freezing. So we don't have to worry, at least at this point, anything really icing up or turning into snow, but it's something we'll watch. Of course, timing with these systems Thursday and Friday could make a difference. If we get a little more overnight precipitation, that would lend to a little better chance of it turning into some snow at some point. But right now, the problems are after Christmas if they're going to be there. Nothing before.
Smooth sailing.
Should be good.
All right, sounds good. Not so good on Blair High Road near Bennings, and there's a crash that's messing stuff up for drivers.
Yeah, a lot of people use that in the morning hours. We talk about how busy it gets near 680, and that's usually the problem spot. Not so this morning, with it being a little further to the north. The crash has been there now for about half an hour. Let's take a look at what we're seeing as a result of that, and as we get things going. It's been especially true on Blair High, where we've seen the delays showing up. There's what we've got. You can see also eastbound, where we've got some delays on Bennington Road. So it sounds like the eastbound traffic is actually being pushed here on Blair High, and that you've got some lane restrictions that are in place on Blair High. So this is going to be an area that's going to be kind of messy to get through. Leave a little extra time if you're planning to drive through there. You can get through, but it's going to take you longer than it usually would. Not the only crash we have, unfortunately. Let's go further south, 84th and Cass, where we've got this one, and it's particularly as you're going southbound. You can see how things are slowing down. This is 85th. It turns into 84th, but you can see the slowdowns on that stretch of roadway. And we actually have a pretty good view of the situation as it's taking place. There's our problem. This is the view from our Children's Nebraska cam. And you can see that Cass itself is getting through in pretty good shape. Right now they're not because it's a red light, but as you're making your way along 84th, you're kind of squeezing over into that far right lane. So plan to merge right if you're going to be heading into that area. And otherwise, we've been off to a fairly smooth start. A little slow on center, right past Saddle Creek. That's been kind of a recurring thing that we've seen over the last few mornings. But you zoom out and you're noticing this is a very green map that we have. JFK looks pretty good. Dodge looks good. We do have some schools that are not in session today. That's probably helping some with the traffic flow. Other schools that are out and about, looks like things are off to a good start for any drivers who are going to be joining those kids. So it's a fairly smooth getting things going this morning if you're avoiding those couple of crash areas.
Okay. All right, Jared, thank you. Well, it's a story we've been following all morning. Nebraska volleyball is eliminated from the NCAA tournament. The Huskers reverse swept by Penn State in the Final Four. Now, one silver lining, senior Lexi Rodriguez broke the school record for career digs. Rodriguez was part of the 3 Final Fours and 2 national championship match appearances with the Big Red. Here's what she had to say after the match.
Just everyone, every single person a part of this program. It's just truly amazing people, and they really changed my life, and they just believed in me, every single person, every single day from the moment that I stepped on campus, and you can't find that anywhere. You truly can't. So I'm just so grateful for everyone, and I'll say it for my entire life, that this program was the best thing that ever happened to me.
So heartfelt, right? So the previous record was set by current and U.S. Olympian and Omaha Love volleyball player Justine Wong Orantes.
All right, out here at the safety desk with Maria Kate. The holidays, such a fun time for so many people.
I know.
Can't wait for Wednesday. However, kind of those larger and heavier foods may really have a big impact on some folks.
They can. I know everybody's sort of in that holiday party season right now, and you want to be mindful of what you're putting into your body because that can have a really big effect on you. And a little prep can go a long way towards protecting yourself while still, making sure you have all that holiday fun, of course.
Yes.
So things like heartburn, hangovers, stress, all these can weave their way in and impact us during the holidays, of course. Now, I spoke with one expert, Sherry Torkis. She says heartburn is especially prevalent because people tend to overeat. You're eating too much during the holidays with all that food. Now, there are a lot of rich Christmas foods, and when you combine that with the carbonated beverages you might be drinking, it can really cause a stir in your digestive system. Now, there are a few tips that Sherry says you can do before the party to avoid this.
Eat smaller portions and slow down, because when we eat fast, we tend to overeat. So you want to have smaller portions, try to prevent these issues from occurring, but also have a remedy on hand if you do get heartburn, because you don't want to be out at a dinner party and then suddenly be in agony and not have anything to deal with it.
Now, Sherry says you should look for different products that help to soothe the digestive system if you are feeling that heartburn. Something that you want to keep in mind, especially as we head into, again, all those holiday parties coming up.
Okay, also with the holiday food comes the holiday drinks.
Yep.
Now, hey, no adjustment from me. People like to have fun, people like to have drinks and have a good time.
Yep.
However, if you do not want to feel hungover the next day, there are some great ways to not do so.
I know, and I don't think anybody wants that. So if you're going to a party where those alcoholic drinks are being served, Sherry also has some tips that you're going to want to keep in mind to avoid any unwanted crashes the day after. Now, she says you're going to want to remember, of course, drink your fluids, lots of water, both before and while you're at the party too. Now, this can mean alternating between alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages as well. She says you should also think about eating foods throughout the day a little bit earlier that can sort of help your body process the alcohol and then lessen those effects of a hangover.
So there's some interesting research on products that contain niacin, which is a B vitamin, as well as zinc and potassium, which is found in bananas. So in terms of niacin-rich foods and zinc, think about avocados, nuts, seeds, beans, maybe some hummus.
Now, Sherry says if you do have those symptoms, you can put an ice pack on your head, have some ginger tea, the common remedies. But you do want to avoid any products like Tylenol because those can be especially hard on your liver when you do combine it with that alcohol. So avoid that.
I don't think anyone necessarily wants to be super hungover on Christmas morning.
No.
That's not that fun.
Not at all.
Maria, very helpful. Thank you. All right, we're back after this.
All right, we kind of got some good news and bad news. The good news is this is the coldest we'll be probably for the rest of the year.
The way it's looking now, yeah.
The bad news is this is the coldest we are going to be for the rest of the year. It's cold out there.
It's darn cold. Wind chills are below zero. It doesn't take much wind at all when it's this cold, and that's kind of how we're starting things off here. We're keeping an eye on the flag here at 90th and Dodge. It picks up a little bit with every gust of wind, and you can see the exhaust from the cars. It's cold. Easily, I think this is going to be the coldest day of 2024 that we have left here. The weekend starts the warming. The Christmas week looks pretty good with highs in the 40s, maybe some rain late. We talked about a little earlier, but compared to this same time yesterday, it was around 30 degrees yesterday morning at 7 a.m. We're 20 degrees colder out the door right now, and you will notice that it's 10 with a feels like number of 6 below. The sustained winds about 15 miles per hour causing that. Everybody is below zero aside from Maryville with the wind chill there, and they're right at zero, so that is cold. We're going to try to get those back above zero as we go through the day. It's not really because we're warming all that much. It's because the wind will die down during the day. Strongest gust near 25 right now. Those will be in the single digits this afternoon, and that will at least help it a little bit. 25 for the high today. Starting out around 10, 25 is it. Notice we get more clouds this afternoon too, so that adds to that sting that the air has. And you can see 25 is where we're at today. 34 tomorrow, 46 on Sunday, and 46 by Monday. Even by Christmas Eve, we're looking at 42, so very mild air. These are all about 10 degrees above average, it looks like, for Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday. So if you got some shopping to get done, support some of the local businesses. It looks pretty good as you're heading out if you maybe procrastinated a little bit. That worked in your favor this year.
No judgment here.
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay. Getting closer to Christmas and even after Christmas, doesn't really look like there's too many issues as far as the forecast goes.
Yeah, I was looking at the potential for maybe a record high on Christmas, but we have 43 in the forecast. That looked a little warmer earlier. Now some of the warmth has been pushed towards the following weekend. You have some rain chances there. Nothing all that inclement right now. They're after Christmas, and no big problems there. But if you're wondering, what is the record for Christmas? Well, the warmest Christmas day we've ever had is 57 degrees. That was back in 1946. The coldest temperature we've ever had, 1983. And let me tell you, the Christmas of 1983 was pretty darn cold. We had 17 below, and that's also the record for the most snow we've had on the ground on Christmas Day. 13 inches was on the ground that same Christmas day, so part of the reason why we're in the deep freeze. The most snow that's ever fallen on Christmas Day is a little under 6 inches. That was back in 2009. You might remember that. It was a Christmas Eve blizzard that started up, and it lasted well into Christmas Day. It was a nasty one. Many people couldn't get where they wanted to be. Now, this Christmas, we're looking at about 43. Very mild, warmer weather on the way most of the week, and we'll keep the rain chances after Christmas. If anything, maybe Christmas night after the sun sets, you could have a few showers trying to move on through. We'll show you what that looks like here as we march through the forecast. There's no big headaches here during the weekend. There's Saturday to Sunday. Watch up here, Minneapolis to Green Bay. As we head into Monday, there could be a little snow system. Then through Christmas Eve, rain stays to the south. But again, it's rain. You can drive through that pretty easily. Christmas Day, there's rain to the east, and then maybe another little system for the day after Christmas. So again, we're watching after Christmas for any rain to really materialize here.
Yeah.
Overall, pretty mild. We get through today. Pretty lucky as far as this goes. Everybody, I think, is going to be able to get where they need to. Road problems not looking like a big deal.
All that matters. And even after Christmas, we're talking rain, not snow.
That's it. We'll watch it closely. If we cool off a little bit, maybe if it tries to fall more overnight, that could be a problem. But right now, not a big deal.
Okay. All right. No problems for Rusty. Jared, on the other hand, so you're going to update us on that situation in Bennington.
Yeah, it's still a problem. If you're looking to use Blair High Road, you're looking at delays that are happening in both directions as a result of that crash. That crash been there about an hour now, and you could see how things continue to be impacted. I want to zoom out a little bit, give a little bit of a better sense of how things are moving for anyone who usually uses that road. So there you can see Blair's at the very top of your screen. You're in good shape until you get to that crossroads with Bennington Road, and that's where you have your problems. It's a little slow right near 680 as well. But if you don't want to mess with this, you can get through here. It's just going to be slower. You could always use Highway 75. You could make your way on Highway 30 and then take Highway 31. That puts you about 204th. That kind of puts you a little bit away from your usual route if you go to one of those, but those are moving pretty well if you decide not to use Blair High. But again, you can go through there. It's just you're going to be looking at some slow travel as you go through that stretch. Otherwise, we've had that crash that's at 84th at Cass that's still in place. There's the view of that one working that scene. You can see how things kind of slow and restricted as you go southbound through that area. Cass itself does look like it's in good shape. And then a couple of other things. Center looking a little bit better than it was. Elsewhere, you're seeing pretty smooth travel for much of the rest of the metro. We need to go outside of the metro, though. You notice that yellow piece there on I-880? That's a crash that's in place. We don't talk about I-880 a lot, but this one, as you're heading westbound, it's between the BB-Town exit, which is roughly about right here or so, and I-29. So if you're heading in that stretch, maybe you're going to be heading your way towards Sioux City, you need to watch for delays that are happening there. So we're monitoring a few different crashes in the early going. We'll keep you posted through the rest of the morning.
Okay, Jared, thanks so much. Happening today, the Nebraska Supreme Court is set to issue another ruling on an appeal from convicted killer Anthony Garcia.
Yeah, the court denied Garcia's first appeal for a new trial last year. However, due to newly discovered evidence, his attorney appealed again. Garcia was convicted of killing 4 people. He was sentenced to death in 2018. Well, cameras are coming to Omaha's sewer systems.
Yeah, for the last 3 years, Omaha has been part of a sewer camera pilot program, and now the city has decided to buy those cameras. Now, they push out an alert to crews if there is an overflow during a wet weather event, such as a heavy rainstorm or a snowmelt. They also give a real-time image of what's going on to help figure out what response is needed.
We've had situations, we go out and regularly check these outfalls every 2 weeks, and then after rain events. There's been times where there's been a water main break or a fire and there's a lot of water that goes, or a pool drained and a lot of water goes into the system and it causes an overflow. And we may not know about that until 2 weeks later, potentially. This will let us know real time if that's occurring.
Well, the plan is to have the cameras up by spring, just in time for those April showers. Well, post office is a little bit busier than usual.
Now people are looking to stamp their mark on the Christmas holiday when we come back.
Well, post office in Central Florida has been a busy place this week, and why?
Well, the name of the town is Christmas. So a lot of people make the drive all the way there to send their Christmas cards and holiday packages. So the stamp cancellation mark will read Christmas. For some, this trip has become an annual tradition. Would you guys do that if you were nearby?
If I was close,
Yeah.
A lot easier than going to North Pole, Alaska.
Hey.
It reminds me there's a town in Valentine, Nebraska, and so on Valentine's Day, people drive all the way there to get the Valentine stamp. Yeah.
That's fun. I wonder if it feels
No,
like
I never
Christmas
heard of
there.
that one.
Yes.
Christmas, Florida.
Miss Florida.
Cool.
I haven't even heard of it either.
No.
Now
Probably
we
a small
have.
town. Now we know.
We have. Plan your next trip.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. You can join us on the air or on streaming for our update on the Today Show.
All right. Have a great start to your Friday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Friday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley. We have a new crash to talk about early on this Friday morning. We'll send it right over to Jarrett Lansford.
Continuing to watch the slowdowns here right around Blair High and Bennington. You can see how things really being backed up as you make your way on Blair High in particular. We've got some lane restrictions as a result of that. So you can get through there, and then you can make your way to the Blair High 680 area is a little slow too, but that trip can be done. Just leave extra time to get through those stretches. Also, 84th and Cass still looking at some impacts as a result of that. There's that crash. Looks like we have a tow truck on the scene now for that one, so that should be clearing. Otherwise, Highway 370 a little slow near 36, but we're mostly moving pretty well as we start off this very cold Friday, Rusty.
Very cold indeed. OPS out of school as well, so hopefully that alleviates some of the strain on the roads, and good day to be out of school because this is the coldest we've had in a little while. You can see the flag waving in the breeze there as we start off. A little bit of a breeze, but it doesn't take much when we're cold. This is the feels like number. Most of these are below 0 this morning, and they are struggling to warm. We're right around 10 in many, many spots. A little colder west, slightly warmer east with a 12 at Atlantic in some parts of western Iowa. You'll notice wind gusts still up near 25 miles per hour possible today early. Then by the afternoon, they back off. So the wind lightens up quite a bit, and that's a part of the reason why our wind chills get back up into the double digits. But it just doesn't warm much at all today, 25 by 3 o'clock. That's as the clouds increase during the afternoon as well. Aaron?
Nebraska volleyball has been eliminated from the NCAA tournament. The Huskers reverse swept by Penn State. It's the first reverse sweep in the semifinals of the tournament since Nebraska did it back in 2018.
Good season. All right, it is 7:28. We are back with another update for you in 25 minutes. We'll see you then.